Now, the morning edition with Isaac Barry, Marian Delepe, and Ugochukwu Madumere.
The moment you get off your bed in the morning, it's go time.
This is the morning edition, where national conversations meet global perspectives and headlines are broken down with clarity, context, and class.
From politics to governance, business and the economy, security, policy, and the stories shaping your day.
Expect in-depth analysis, engaging interviews, and conversations that actually matter to you.
Oh yes, we keep it insightful, but never boring.
So whether you're driving to work, preparing for meetings, or setting the tone for your day, start it informed with the real 99.3 FM Abuja. The morning edition with Ugochukwu Madumere,
Marian Delepe,
and Isaac Barry.
Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on Real 99.3 FM.
part of the Real Broadcasting Network.
Security experts question how kidnappers use phones, videos, and live streams, yet evade tracking by security agencies. Debate grows over emerging political alliances and what they mean for the South-South region and Nigeria's political future. Outrage follows the kidnapping of former defense spokesman Major General Abubakar and his wife. And Governor Seyi Makinde says governors lack control over security agencies, sparking renewed questions on who is responsible for citizen protection. Well, a very good morning to you, Abuja. Good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to Real 99.3 FM, part of the Real Broadcasting Network. It's a lovely week, a beautiful month to be alive. It's the very first day in the 6th month of the year of our Lord 2026. My name is Isaac Barry, and of course, it's a real pleasure to have you join us on the morning edition, the very first of the month of June. Of course, this is the show where we bring you in-depth conversations and thoughtful analysis of the stories shaping Nigeria and the world today. I've got some gentlemen with us. One of them oppressing, the other very nice. Of course, when I say gentlemen of the press, I mean gentlemen, good morning to the very first day. Welcome, to the very first day of June. How are you guys doing? Lovely weekend it was.
Good morning to you, Isaac Barry. The weekend saw or celebrating and some people crying. But then I like to say a very good morning to you before I delve into those who were crying and those who were wailing and those who were celebrating. Some people are here to pepper them. I'm not
pepper them, guys.
I know they do. I just know that the weekend went on very smoothly, and of course, it's Good Morning Abuja, Good Morning Nigeria. My name is Marian Delepe. This is a morning edition, and you're welcome. Happy New Month, Barry.
Happy New Month.
Yes, and sorry to
no. You should know me by now.
You know,
one of those things.
I love Arsenal. I really did hope that Arsenal, got the
life,
Champions League.
All good.
But at this point, I might have to rethink my choices. this now.
Oh, you're free to do so.
You know, if a boyfriend who was an Arsenal fan, I don't want a near success syndrome close to me.
Okay.
Just mind your business.
Okay, you don't like patience, yeah?
Barry, I think I might have to rethink being a co-host on this show with you.
Okay. No wahala.
But definitely on the program this morning, as always, we're taking a closer look at the issues shaping national discussions, of course, from security, governance to politics, and of course, public accountability. You are in for a great time this morning.
Oh, yes. What a lovely morning. What a lovely morning.
Beautiful day to be alive.
Bonjour de la part des champions.
Welcome to the morning edition.
Straight from Paris. I just came in from Paris.
I just translated what you said. I translated what you said. Welcome to the morning edition.
No, that's not it. That's good morning straight from Paris in France, where we've been celebrating since the weekend after that historic, sweet, magnificent victory in the Champions League.
On penalties.
Their voice, you shall know them.
On penalties.
This is sweet.
I'm a Chelsea fan
Football
wearing
is
PSG
sweet.
jersey
On
on a
penalties.
What we
Monday
call
morning.
Jogo Bonito.
Okay.
Football with passion.
No, it's your time. Allow the PSG people to
It's-
enjoy. Not Chelsea people. Allow PSG people to enjoy.
Any side that is not Arsenal, that's the side I am on.
Okay.
Any side that's the winning side, that's where I am. And of course, I mean, come on. Good morning, everyone.
Okay, congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Barry.
I was waiting for that.
So easy. You couldn't even put up a fight.
No need to fight. It is
the fact that you couldn't fight in Budapest.
The Budapest drama was a lot. I mean, I felt for you
my
guys.
goodness.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. What a joy to have you be a part of what we do here every morning in the month of June. In the year of our Lord 2026, it's really moving so fast. Well, throughout the program this morning, we'll be unpacking all the issues behind the headlines and providing context to today's most pressing national conversations. Trust me, Arsenal PSG wasn't the only thing that happened over the weekend. Quite a whole lot, a flurry of events from politics to security. We'll just be unpacking all of that on the program this morning.
Yes, indeed. And on today's program, as always, our big story examines our troubling security question. And that is how kidnappers are able to use phones, send videos, and even appear in live streams, yet still evade tracking by security agencies. Of course, we'll be speaking with Mr. Nsikak Joseph Nelson, the CEO of DEFCOM and co-founder of Select Secure Lab. He'll be coming here to give us a little bit of his experience as a security expert.
Yes, indeed. In our developing story today, we explore the emerging political alliances and regional interest and what these shifting realignments could mean for the South-South and, of course, the wider Nigeria political landscape. Our guest will join us pretty much later to help us get into the conversation proper when, of course, we get to that point in our developing story.
We'll also bring you two important commentaries this morning. First, the kidnapping of former defense spokesman Major General Abubakar and his wife, which is renewed national concern over insecurity and targeted abductions. And second, of course, Governor Seyi Makinde's remarks that governors lack control over security agencies, raising deeper questions about responsibility and accountability when citizens are kidnapped. We're just going to push the conversation we had on state police a bit further, also get to X-ray. Well, the high-level delegation that was sent out by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to Oyo State, comprising the likes of the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, alongside other top...
The Chief of Staff was there.
Femi Gbajabiamila, and several other persons who the president sent out, and were really expecting that particular visit will yield some positive result.
Even though critics are already coming in to say they are late to the party, critics say they got there before
critics will
the
always say
presidency
that,
got
but at
there.
least we've gotten them doing something. You know, at least something is being done, so it's all good.
All right.
This will be the third week. We're entering into the third week of the abduction. And, we don't want to dwell so much on what the gloomy situation is, but trust me, we will try to bring you up to speed with everything that you need to know on the program this morning. Promises to be a packed and insightful morning as we unpack all of these issues. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we take a look at some of the beautiful things that are happening. We'll call it the bright side on the morning edition. Stay with us.
Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. It speaks to youth in a language they understand. Sport can create hope where once there was only despair. It is more powerful than governments in breaking down racial barriers. It laughs in the face of all types of discrimination.
Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, South African anti-apartheid activist and the first democratically elected president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999.
The moment you get off your bed in the morning, it's go time.
This is the morning edition, where national conversations meet global perspectives and headlines are broken down with clarity, context, and class.
From politics to governance, business and the economy, security, policy, and the stories shaping your day.
Expect in-depth analysis, engaging interviews, and conversations that actually matter to you.
Oh yes, we keep it insightful, but never boring.
So whether you're driving to work, preparing for meetings, or setting the tone for your day, start it informed with the real 99.3 FM Abuja. The morning edition with Ugochukwu Madumere,
Marian Delepe,
And Isaac Barry.
Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on Real 99.3 FM.
part of the Real Broadcasting Network.
Oh, yes, indeed. It was a wonderful weekend, as we told you earlier on. So many things happening, from sports to politics and even innovations, you know. But let's start off with taking a look at sports. Nigeria won a cup over the weekend. Looks like really great. The Unity Cup, it's called. So, Guchuku, what side were you on when you were watching? Don't tell me you were against Nigeria this time again.
My blood is green.
Okay. Okay.
When it comes to international games, let me just put it out there that my blood always runs green. And I mean, it's interesting because it's more like our bet right now.
Yeah.
We've won it back to back to back to back. And it's interesting because the squad that we used to win.
Exactly.
Relatively unknown players, Femi Aziz, Ebenezer Consamiro. It's not the usual suspects. It's not the Ademola Lookmans of this world. It's not the Victor Osimhens or the Samuel Chukwueze. You know, some of those are guys that we always eulogize and praise whenever they wear the green and white colors of Nigeria. It's sad, though, that, you know, we're playing the Unity Cup, we're playing a couple of friendly matches when we should be in camp right now for the World Cup.
No, we should have gotten over that by now. I'm always forward-looking, man. No need to cry over spilled milk.
I just can't get over it. I just can't get over it because I'm seeing Cape Verde, I'm seeing Panama, Haiti is going to be at the World Cup, Uzbekistan, Iran, all of this.
Congo, let me rub it in.
But let's take you to some of the moments where the goals were scored over the weekend, we had some players from the Nigeria Premier League as well, who scored goals. He extended call-ups to some of them, talking about Eric Shell, giving opportunity for some of them to excel on the international stage. And boy, they grabbed that opportunity with not just their two hands, with both legs and everything in them. And I mean, it was really a good outing for Nigeria. It would have been surprising to see maybe a Zimbabwe or a Jamaica beat Nigeria.
The Reggae Boys, yeah?
But it was quite an interesting one over the weekend. Let's bring you highlights of some of the goals that were scored over the weekend.
Down into the middle, past the goalkeeper. And here's that crucial second goal for Nigeria to give them daylight in this Unity Cup final.
I mean, to the delight of the crowd and obviously to his own delight. I mean,
to plant it down into the middle, past the goalkeeper. And here's that crucial second goal.
Yeah, that was the second goal scored by Femi Aziz. He was assisted by Terem Murphy, who, of course, was the most senior player on the pitch that day. Let also bring you the first goal. One of the invitees from the MPFL now, Obinna Ibuke. And there's something about the MPFL. They're very are keen to using long throws.
Okay.
And in fact, it was his long throw that resulted into the first goal.
Confused the defense.
I'm sure they probably, have not seen that in a long time. But let's also bring you the moment when we scored our first goal against Jamaica.
Crucial second goal for Nigeria to give them daylight. Towards the 6-yard box, it goes and needs a goal. Nigeria that struck first. Yusuf, the goalkeeper, did his best to try to deny it, but Yusuf was there to pounce, and the Super Eagles struck first in the Unity Cup final.
And that is exactly what we were expecting from the defending champions tonight.
Well, the long throws, we saw that earlier against Zimbabwe, when the ball throws in, and then it's just really difficult to deal with. It's flipped on, and the goalkeeper maybe could have done a bit better. But Clark pulling it away. It was flipped on by a Jamaican player. Beautiful, clinical finish there.
Defending champions, retaining the trophy again. Congratulations to us.
It's a season of defending champions retaining trophies. I know. I'm tickling someone's fancy right now. Oh, good. No wahala at all, as they will say right here.
Well, thank you for taking us there, Barry, because it was magical in Paris yesterday. We had the victory parade. The PSG team lifted the Champions League trophy live from the Champ de Mars, and it was just really colorful. Sadly, there were a few reports of
fracas here and there.
Yes, but I mean, thankfully it didn't mar the celebrations that much. We also had a victory parade by your beloved Arsenal,
of course,
in London.
Yes, indeed.
Well, thank God for that.
We had reduced it. We had delayed that. We wanted to make it a double cup parade, but it wasn't to be. But no problem. Us Arsenal, we're good. We're patient. We go again. We move. That's what we normally say.
Absolutely. And let's bring you some of the highlights of the victory parade, the celebrations in Paris, France, and also in London, where we have, some of those players who, the same starting 11, with the exception of the goalkeeper. The 10 outfield players that started on Saturday against Arsenal was exactly the same outfield players that started against Inter Milan when they won their first Champions League last year.
5-0.
5-0 hammering, 5-0 annihilation of Inter Milan, the Italian team. So, I mean, we really, as much banter aside, we have to give some credit to that Arsenal team. It's been a long journey for them to get, to this point. The last time they were there was in 2006.
Yeah.
And now, in 2026, 20 years later, they make it back to the Champions League, and they actually hold their own to a very large extent, up until the center could no longer hold, or should I say things fell apart. But it was a good showing. It was a very strong one. I'm sure you can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth. But
I was just looking at your placing, and all of that. Well, let's see, of course, so let's get into the celebrations now, the victory parades. We begin from Paris, I believe, and then I will roll over to North London. Yes, indeed.
And that's it. And of course, the biggest league in the world. Some call it the most lucrative, the most interesting, the UEFA Champions League. Well, started with a long number of teams, but eventually it came down to two. The two most important teams in the competition, Arsenal of England and Paris Saint-Germain of France. And it was the Parisians who came out tops on the night. Congratulations once again.
That's why you have a PSG jersey over your tie and your sleeves this morning. What's going on? All of these?
No. It's very symbolic. He came to harass me, but I told him, no, it's all good. Yeah, we have been bantering since yesterday.
On Saturday, I said that I think Arsenal has got more haters than supporters, because what is going on?
Is it really haters?
I love that Arsenal, regardless, went ahead to celebrate and paint the city red.
No, they had
the world red.
Their own celebration was on ice. They just wanted to get the PSG business out of the way because lots of celebrations.
Well, that would have added some more glamour.
I love that kind of energy. Regardless of whatever goes on, you just celebrate.
Well, these are guys who've been waiting for 22 years, for God's sake. Nothing's going to remove the shine of their celebrations, and they said so,
And can we also talk about the watch party the Real Broadcasting Network put together?
Out of this world. Wonderful, great, wonderful. Nothing else to say.
I mean, just impeccable to have fans of both those who are in support and those who are against, troop in, and then under one roof, we're laughing, we're gisting.
Mingling.
And really, that is what football should be about.
Of course.
I've seen small videos here and there where people, with each other's throats and all of that. That's not the message of football.
I'm not the loser. But the loser is an Arsenal fan. I saw that. I'm like, really? Are you getting here?
But as long as we're doing it and we're smiling, as long as we're doing it and nobody is cursing at each other, I mean, that some of those banter is allowed.
But I love that you highlighted our watch party at Arabian. If you missed it, look forward to the next.
You probably missed the best part of the Champions League finale.
I'm telling you, it was interesting. Maybe the World Cup might just be another time to come together and have a great time. So,
especially if an African team, perhaps, who knows, gets to the semi-final, the final.
Oh boy, that would be wonderful.
So you just have to keep listening to Real 99.3 FM to get all of the full gist and the juice, of course. Enjoy yourselves. But we're not turning our attention now from the bright side.
We actually have one more thing I'd like to share with you on the bright side. We had, there's a little girl, would that be little now? I won't call, a teenager. who just did something really wonderful, you know, Ugochukwu, Marian. You won't believe that a 19-year-old had been harboring something inside of her for a while, and it came out in the open. She did something about the solar panel and making it last longer and all of that, Ugochukwu. You want to go into details of that? Okay, because, you know, the other day we were talking about panels and you having to, you know, buy a couple of... Well, okay, the 19-year-old Nigerian tech person designed a renewable energy project to solve global solar panel efficiency limitations. So that wipes away your doubt to go. The other time you're saying you do not know whether you actually will need to go for it and all of that. This lady disclosed that she has been developing this system for years and has officially registered her startup last year, you know, and this young lady, I'll call her an innovator, is opening floors for partnerships to access laboratory facilities and scale her green technology concept up, you know, and really very interesting. Her name, by the way, is Adeze Osakwe, and she has presented a technical solution to transform the renewable energy sector. So all of those people who tell me that not too long that they got this, their own stuff, and that they don't understand what's happening, is already packed up and everything. This young innovator, who have founded her own company, is saying that her startup is focusing on overcoming the core limitations of existing solar designs to actually unlock global energy bottlenecks. So for once, Nigeria is not on the map, is not on the front page, is not on the, whatever you might call it, for the wrong reasons. No, sir. This one is for the good reason of a young girl, 19-year-old girl, who has developed something that will help this solar industry. Big kudos to her. And of course, she's doing the best. We are hoping that some people, maybe within our country or even outside, will have to now partner with her and let her know that what she's doing is good and help her on this journey. Marian, I'm sure you two will be proud because you always talk about businesses, small businesses, Nigerian businesses. And now here we are, a lady business person breaking grounds.
I mean, it's a good one, a good innovation to help your solar energy last longer than the way it's been working. Let's just put it that way. But it's a good one to see young people get into that space and just create things, not just for us to import. This time, let's create things ourselves. But
yes, indeed. And she did this even after adversary, you know. Her father had passed last year, but she didn't allow that to affect her, even though it affected, as she said, her immediate infrastructure support. But she's been doing this research for this project for 5 years, and she says it is ready for laboratory prototyping and strategic corporate partnerships right now. That's miles, leaps and bounds ahead, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, indeed.
All right, and when they say Nigerians are one of the most intelligent people on earth, there you have it. We'll take a break now, and when we return, we'll take you to the front pages of Nigeria's newspapers, especially on a Monday morning. You definitely want to find out what is on the front pages here on the morning edition on Rio 993. Stay with us.
Nigerians believe passionately in the fundamental human rights. We regard all races of the human family as equal. Under no circumstance shall we accept the idea that the black race is inferior to any other race.
Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, first president of Nigeria, 1963 to 1966.
This is the morning edition on Real Broadcasting Network.
All right, so we take it to the front pages of the Nigerian dailies this morning. We've got a couple of them for you. Of course, we have the Punch, we have the Tribune, and the Daily Trust with more to come. I think I'll be releasing Marianne to be setting the pace for us this morning. You care to punch in? Okay, since you are getting ready to do that, you are still in the spirit of celebrations with Ugochukwu. Okay, let me do the needful. I'll be doing the Nigerian Tribune this morning, and straight away, above the nameplate, Obafemi Awolowo Future Leaders Fellowship Program opens application across Africa diaspora. Okay, that's a good one. It's a story that is right here on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, and it continues on page 4. And beside the story, there's a beautiful picture of a young Obafemi Awolowo in his, of course, traditional eyeglass, spectacle, if you ask me, and his very special cap indeed. Obafemi Awolowo Future Leaders Fellowship Program opens applications across Africa and diaspora. Okay, the major story you find on the front page is Oyo abduction. Tinubu approves recruitment of 1,000 forest guards. Story on page 3. Tinubu approves recruitment of 1,000 forest guards. And as my colleagues have been saying earlier on, my days becoming too late. Well, not if you ask others. They'll say it is done when it is done. Or your abduction. Tinubu approves recruitment of 1,000 forest guards. We are already 2 weeks into this saga right now.
This is the third week we're entering.
This is the third week we are entering right now. And I saw a very pathetic video over the weekend. I couldn't stop. I thought I was a very tough man, but I didn't know that tears were running down my cheeks until I felt some movement on my face, where the father of the principal was addressing His Excellency Governor Sheyi Makinde in a Pali, and he was given the mic to speak, and he was addressing the governor to say, I am the husband of that lady who's been used as a spokesperson each time, and I'm not going to ask you for anything. I know you're doing your best. Please continue to do your best. And then he went on his knee. That was when it broke for me, And the governor actually at that point walked up, gave the guy a hug, and the guy had to exhale, so to speak. He wept a little bit. That's really where we now begin to wonder what's being done. Well, thank God the federal government is into it right now. That's why this front page is here.
I mean, there are a lot of questions regarding that.
Yes.
Is this a time to now start recruiting 1,000 guards because of the insecurity at Oyo State? Are we being reactive or we are being proactive now? Is this a time to, because some citizens are now being kidnapped for 2 weeks now, children involved, teachers involved, isn't that time to set up and employ or recruit 1,000 guards?
I may recall that so many times when we do all these security stories, there are calls for things like this to be done. I'm talking about months ago, each time we do about, remember every time we do newspaper, and we started talking between ourselves that we don't look forward to doing newspaper headlines anymore because every day you seem to get one kidnap or the other. And people had been calling, experts have been calling, but well, it is what it is. It looks like...
So are we saying that the guys we have right now cannot fight to bring people home? We have to recruit, train. Remember, it's not just recruitment. When you recruit them, you have to train them, and they have to be ready to even get into the battlefield. So how long is that going to take? Is that how long we have to wait before we get our people back? Or the current security personnel we have cannot get the job done? Is that what the presidency is saying? Or is it just a backup? While we try to get them back, let us recruit more people. Is that it? I mean, a lot is going on. Parents, teachers, everyone is on the lookout waiting. But then we'll get a soundbite from the visit by the Oyo State governor to the particular event now where one of the parents Also, the husband of the woman who's been used as a spokesperson from the camp of their bad guys now did speak.
It's very disheartening and depressing. Mi ò ní sọ jù báyìí lọ sà, mo mọ̀ pé ẹni ṣe ẹ kájú ẹ̀ sì jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ẹ ṣeun gómìnà. Ẹ ṣe.
Ó pe Fúnmiláyọ̀ Òjó. Bàbá ẹ lọ jókòó.
That is the particular video I was telling you about. They actually spoke in in Yoruba, and he was telling the governor, "I know you are able to do it, and you are more than that. I won't say anything more than that." And then he falls on his knees, and the governor comes over and embraces him, and he couldn't hold back. The down broke, and he started to cry.
Well, we did have that delegation to Oyo State, and like we said, high-powered delegation, the Chief of Staff, the NSA, and several other government officials. This is the mother of one of the 46 pupils abducted by armed men who broke down in tears while also appealing to the delegation sent by the president for the rescue of the victims.
But now, according to directives, containing a letter or a statement issued yesterday by the Oyo State wing of the NUT, that's Nigeria Teachers...
Union of Teachers.
Now, and of course signed by State Secretary Comrade Salami B, has instructed that public schools teachers in Oyo State to begin an indefinite strike over the abduction of their colleagues and students in Uriri local government area. I guess that strike begins today, Monday. So, of course, the industrial action follows the kidnapping and continued captivity of the teachers and pupils abducted since on May 15th. Today is June 1st. So, Oyo State has started it. The Nigerian Union of Teachers, Oyo State's chapter now, have said an indefinite strike is been called on to happen today in Oyo, across Oyo State. So there's been clamor and calls for this strike to come on across the nation by the Nigerian citizens to say an injury to one is an injury to all. We can't all be going back to the classroom when your colleague are still in the bushes and yet to even know their fate of if they are going to return home well or in a body bag. So we don't even know where we are. But then the Oyo State have started with a strike now. We do hope that the government will listen and do something about it, except they say that the bad guys are more coordinated and stronger than our own security operatives. But that's the latest information regarding the kidnap in Oyo State now.
All right, let's take you to the Guardian newspaper now for some of the headlines there. Don't forget, you're part of the conversation. Once we're done reading out the headlines, you can call in on 0906 202 9933. The number again is 0906 202 9933. All right, on The Guardian, Obi pledges to up power generation to 10,000 megawatts if elected president. Obi pledges to up power generation to 10,000 megawatts if elected president. We have extension on table as insurers miss May capital verification deadline. Also on The Guardian, Gombe-led ADC unveils Chris Uba as presidential candidate. All right, Gombe-led ADC unveils Chris Uba as presidential candidate. Something tells me this might not be the ADC we know. Is there another ADC?
You are surprised. That's why. but well, I told you, they say with anything that has to do in Nigeria, you shouldn't blink. Something can be happening in the next couple of seconds, nanoseconds or nanoseconds that you might be missing. You never can tell.
Well, Gombe ADC. So you may want to pick a copy of The Guardian to get more details on that. And it appears that it is the faction that is led by Nafiu Bala Gombe, who have unveiled Professor Chris Uba as its presidential candidate candidate for the 2027 elections. So, well, does that mean that the ADC now has 3 presidential candidates? Because there's the Chris Uba, we'll have Ibek Kachuku, and then we'll have Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as well. Okay, well, that's it. You can pick a copy of that paper. There's details on page 3. The lead story in The Guardian states reel from 13 trillion naira loss ahead of 2026 severe flooding prediction. Well, and the rains haven't really started in earnest, particularly in Abuja, actually. And then Ebola, Lagos fan intensifies surveillance at MMIA, that's the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. Jonathan's 2027 eligibility suit shifts to appeal court. Niger restates ban on graduation ceremonies in public and private schools. Oyo abduction, teachers begin strike as Tinubu deploys specialized rescue team. The updates that Marion was just giving you a couple of minutes ago. Why court is in favor of DSS operatives in defamatory suit against Serap. You can find that one on page 14. Flutterwave promotes over 100 employees, launches global cost of living relief package. How OPE is deepening financial inclusion and creating jobs across Nigeria. Okay, interesting. And on the front page, there's a breakdown of the National Risk Overview 2026 projection. Over 14,000 communities in high-risk zones, 33 states, and the FCT at critical risk as well. There's moderate risk for over 15,000 communities, and housing and property. When we talk about economic breakdown between 2024 and 2025 is at 6.2 trillion, and just a whole lot of other breakdown there. You might just need to pick a copy of The Guardian to get more details on that.
Yes, indeed. When you did mention both of the financial institutions now, it just brought to mind on a lighter note, though, where LinkedIn, where the platform where jobs have been, advertised and you can, land yourself maybe a good job or a job, laid off about 600 of its employees. And the comment section got me wild, when they tell you that the platform that creates jobs, let's go of 600. Now they tell you, comment section said, let them put their CV back on the same platform they have been running before they were.
Well, that could have been how they got the jobs, in the first place.
That's what she meant. That, okay, since these people laid you off, put it back on that same platform that you guys were running. Let's see whether someone else will pick you up.
Someone said, LinkedIn, linked out.
Oh, boy.
You have been linked out.
It looks like something funny right now, but deep down it isn't funny.
You don't want to be in the position of those 600
What can you
people.
do when the situation is tougher and bigger than what you can handle, so to speak?
Just on a lighter note, though, I just had to bring that in. But then we'll move on to the Vanguard newspaper now. The story we just spoke about, the governor of Oyo State and the husband to one of the abductees now, is on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Vanguard newspaper now, not the Guardian. That's leading. That's a picture, one of the pictures on the front page. But then leading story on the Vanguard this morning, education, medical tourism drive foreign travel spending to $6 billion. On page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper, education-related travel gobs $2.84 billion. That's one of the writers following that story. Foreign airlines dominate travel tickets. Another writer, it highlights systemic failures, experts say. That's writers are leading this story now. Education, medical tourism drive foreign travel spending to $6 billion. Page 11 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then consolation, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde consoling Professor Wole Alamu, husband of the school principal who was abducted along with teachers and pupils in Ahuru, Isele, Yawola community, Oriri local government area of Oyo State, during the governor's visit to the community. And of course, the picture of the governor and the principal's husband, with the governor trying to console him. That's on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. Still on the front page of the Vanguard, 2027, governors face fierce battles to retain seats. produce successors. Page 5 of the Vanguard. Oyo kidnap. Tinubu deploys 1,000 forest guards tactical team. With the rider, sends Ribadu, IGP, defense minister to Oyo. Terrorists want to talk to government, not family. Alamu, principal's husband, says that story can be found on page 6 and 22 of the Vanguard. Abductions, killings, refer Nigeria to Security Council. Serap urges UN chief. Page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. And then we have the First Holdco PLC, the 14th AGM, that's their annual meeting now, right on the front page of the Vanguard with pictures speak and with Femi Otedola and others on the front page. Any of the stories interest you, let us know your thoughts. Phone lines open 090-6202-9933. 090-6202-9933. Which of the stories are you running with this morning before we continue with the papers? Barry, we want to take the first call.
Wonderful. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Marianne. Okay, tell me your name and where you're calling from.
Welcome to the new month.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
We can hear you loud and clear.
My name is...
Say that again.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I knew something like that would happen when it started to fluctuate, so to speak. Please, you have to be patient. You have to be armed with a lot of patience this morning as you call. Looks to be a bit quite funny this morning with connection. So just keep trying. Let's see whether the calls will be coming in easy. I got the call again. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning, Yogoshiku, and my name is Isaac Barry. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. This is Isaac Onoja. I'm calling from Newcastle.
All right, go ahead, Isaac.
Yes, sir. So, in fact, I really... I got this children that kidnapped from your feet. And I pray that God Almighty will release them.
Amen.
Like what the president has said, now to employ, to recruit more press guys. If you recruit them now, training them will take at least not less than 3 months before you train them. So does it mean that these people they will be there for until after their training before they can begin to recruit private to these children? Please, I think the government should be fast do something about it. And please, the phone number of my friend, Dr. Mara, is going to release for me. Please, can you help me to release the phone number, please?
All right, thank you for your contribution. Have yourself a nice day. This is Real 99.3 FM, part of the Real Broadcasting Network. Of course, you're listening to the morning edition. We're taking a look at the front pages of the dailies this morning. What story are you willing to go with? We've reeled out a couple of headlines this morning. Call us, let us know your part, your opinion, your take. Who is this caller? Hello, good morning.
Hello, this is Isaiah from Newcastle.
Isaiah from Newcastle. Thank you for joining us. Happy New Month. Please go ahead.
Yes,
60 seconds.
Thank you. I'm going for sports.
Okay.
And I want to thank Arsenal. Well, they tried after 20 years to play final back, even though they did not carry the cup. But I want to say this, that Arsenal fans, they started with violence from the day they carry Premier League by saying that if they carry that league, Champions League, they are going to arrest Chelsea fans and Man U fans for those. But thank God they didn't. That was their statement in Newcastle, yes.
Oh, okay.
They say they are going to arrest Man U fans and Arsenal and Chelsea fans on the street.
Okay, thank God
by police.
Okay, that's
right. But we thank God that it did not come to pass. They did not carry the league. So.
Okay.
they should take out and work and wait for another 50 years to play final.
Okay.
That is my take.
That's quite an allegation on the Arsenal fans in New Cairo.
Ugo, did you hear that they said Arsenal fans said they wanted to, once they carry the cup, they are going to arrest some set of fans? That's very audacious, yeah?
Oh my.
Start the arrest by bringing Ugochukwu at the forefront.
No. I will have hidden Ugochukwu. They won't get
leader of the Chelsea community in Maitama.
No, they won't get through to him. I'll hide him.
Pick him up.
Yes.
Because he doesn't want Barry to rest as an Arsenal fan.
This is Real 99.3 FM, part of the Real Broadcasting Network, and it is morning edition. Of course, I've got Marian, Ugochukwu, and Isaac here. We're taking your calls as per what we reeled out on the front pages of the Nigerian dailies today. You want to be part of what we're doing right now. 0906 202 9933. That's the number to call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Weatherman.
You can call me your weatherman.
How come there's no zest in your voice this morning?
Not London is gone.
I said, how come there's no zest in your voice this morning?
Because not London is cold.
My daughter is by my side and she's like, oh, Dad, you're online.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so I also want to cue into the earlier caller. 22 years, wonderful. You can imagine. You can see what we've set. We've set another precedent in England. Okay, and our plan this season was to go for the trophy, EPL trophy, but any other mede that comes along with it, we will collect. So watch out next season. Watch out what's going to happen.
League is what you're calling mede.
Yes, now we didn't set out for Champions League.
Weatherman.
Yes, we didn't set out for Champions League.
Don't start this way, oh.
No, truth be told, even the Carling and the FA Cup were all medals that were by the road, and we picked it. Our core point was to go for the EPL this season. But again, good try. It's not easy to make additional two finals along with the cup. Watch out for what Arsenal will do next season. I think we are going to be favorites now. In a long time, we've not been favorites, but I believe we are going to be favorites now. Right. To the Arsenal fans worldwide, Abuja, Nigeria, please go pick your PVCs. It's we versus them, and our vote must count this time around. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful Happy New Month.
Happy New Month. And hello to your daughter, yeah?
Not London is only for EPL.
No, you missed out.
Not collecting
it is forever. That's how you say it. Even if no matter what, Liverpool will tell you they never walk alone. Even in defeat, it is there. It's just there. You strive. You have to set something that you walk towards. All right.
09062029933. The phone line is open for you to let us know your thoughts of the Vanguard, the Nigerian Tribune, the Guardian newspaper this morning. It's quite heavy. Which of the stories are you running with? Let us know. Is it on Vanguard now? NUT direct Oyo teachers on indefinite strike of abducted teachers and pupils. Is that story you're running with? Or are you running with the presidency, who has now approved the recruitment of 1,000 forest guards after Oyo school abduction? Is that the story you're running with? Which story are you going with? Let us know your thoughts on the Guardian now. State real from 13 trillion naira loss ahead of the 2006 severe flooding prediction. Is that story you're running with? Politics aside, we still got our lives to live. Which story are you running with now?
And very, very quickly, I didn't drop this while I was taking the Nigerian Tribune earlier on, and Ugo will not want me to go without doing this. The health part of the Nigerian Tribune says cancer jab can eradicate entire tumors in patients. And that's what the trials have shown. That is what the experts are saying. Cancer jab can eradicate entire tumors in patients. Trial shows. A story on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune, and show that you get that and get details so that maybe someone might need that information. Well, it is 99.3 FM, Of course, this is Real FM. You're listening to the morning edition that comes your way every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Of course, we are your day starters now. So which stories are you willing to run with this morning? A couple of them. There's one that got to do with security, others to do with politics, and some to do with sports, you know. And I can feel in my bones some people asking why Ugochukwu is wearing a certain jersey, even though...
Well, just to also touch on, you know, some of the headlines on security, interestingly, former director of information, General Rabe, was ambushed and abducted in Castina. In fact, there's a story of that, yes, on the Daily Trust this morning. And there's that narration where it gives details of how he was ambushed along the Maraba Musawa Kafinsoli Road. That's in Matazu local government area. And it's near Zakin Baure village, where witnesses said armed men believed to be bandits suddenly emerged from hiding, blocked the road, opened fire on the vehicle, forced it to stop before abducting the retired officer and his wife into a nearby forest. And in fact, there's a picture of the car in which he was traveling before he was kidnapped. You could see some bullet holes in parts of the car, and you could see some of their belongings abandoned in the car as well after the bandits took them away. Now, there are eyewitnesses who were saying that the driver was shot in the hand but was later spared by the gunmen. They said they shot him in the hand and abandoned him but took the general and his wife away. He happened to be bleeding seriously but managed to get help and has since been treated as the driver now. And security operatives recovered the victim's vehicle and moved it to the Matazu Divisional Police Headquarters. And some of the eyewitnesses are saying it was a well-planned ambush. And that's the security situation of the country at the moment.
From what you have just reeled out, it sounded like something well planned, as you said, and something like an inside info. Looks like they knew this man was traveling and they knew where to. Well, God help us, God save us. These are the things we talk about when we say we must improve on our intelligence gathering and on our intelligence network, so to speak. Well, this is the morning edition. It's happening right here on 99.3 FM, part of the Real Broadcasting Network. We're doing the best we can to bring you up to speed with what has transpired, so to speak. Between now and the top of the hour, you still have the time to let us know what you think. The line is open. You can call us. You can react to whatever you've heard us say or read out from any of the papers this morning.
Okay, let's also bring you the speech of the Defense Minister, Christopher Musa, when he spoke to families of the 4 to 6 pupils and teachers abducted in the Orire local government area of Oyo State.
And particularly since this incident occurred, it has been sleepless nights for Mr. President and for all of us sitting down here. Because as Nigerians, any Nigerian that is affected is concerned, because we equally have children, we equally have people in our villages. So we know how it feels and we feel your pain. We have listened to your demands, to your requests, to your appeals. And just to assure you that members of the armed forces, the police and other security agencies will continue to work very hard until all the children and everyone that has been captured, both here and everywhere in Nigeria, is returned home safely. We are together with you. We feel your pain. And our prayers are with those that have lost their loved ones. And please, our appeal is that the security forces cannot do this alone. We need your cooperation also, because you know the terrain, you know the areas. Our appeal is, if you see anything that is strange, anybody that is new, people coming around, working aimlessly within your communities that you have never seen, please report as quickly as possible. Especially when you see people coming in to buy food in large quantities, coming to buy bread in large quantities, coming to do one or two things. Please don't keep quiet. It is our responsibility to report this as quickly as possible so that the members of the security forces can take action. We have also listened on your request for the establishment of Ford operating base here. We'll go back and handle that as quickly as possible so that this place can have more security. But I can assure you, as we are sitting down here, both in the sky and on land, we are watching what is going on around here. And as quickly as possible, we are going to get them. Let us continue to pray together. Let's continue to unite. It's not a time to blame anybody. It's a time for unity. You are a strong community. We have driven around. We have seen how resilient you are. And God is with you. God will continue to strengthen us. Their intention is to put fear among us and to put division so that you think the government is not doing right or people don't care about you. The president and all the team in Abuja and everywhere cares about what happens here. Because you, to us, you are all family. So it is important. On the issue of the infrastructure that we have seen, I know the local government, the federal government will do something to assist you to make sure that this place is better than we have seen it. But I want to encourage us all to please remain very strong. God is with us. And we
that's General Chris Musa, retired, the Minister of Defense, giving some form of courage and encouragement to members of that community. I have this caller. Hello, good morning. Good morning,
morning, my name is GB.
Good morning, GB. Happy to you. 60
Thank you very much for this platform for robust internet mature discussion. The Minister of Defense has spoken the word, and emphasis is on local security. Emphasis is on intelligence. That is what can combat, make us overcome this banditry, kidnapping, and the rest, because it's a guerrilla war. The locals have to be involved. If somebody could have space to keep people for about 40 people in the forest for about 3 to 4 weeks now, unchallenged, it shows that we have many ungoverned space forests that are vulnerable, that are penetrated by these people, and they can occupy it. 1,000 forest guards, to me, is okay, but if they are not well armed, if they are not given the pass to carry AK-47, they just waste them. We need local security that are armed more than these people. You can see, these people come around, they have been there looking at the environment before they even struck. It means that we need intelligence, and that we're going local, that we're going to state police and community police who will gather intelligence, who will report all those things. All those are telling those villagers. Some of them are afraid. If I go and report now, they mention my name, they'll come and kill me here. That fear is there. But when we have people who are employed, being paid for intelligence, they will overcome this. So the solution is local security, which is state and community police. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much for that robust conversation, GB. Thank you. Always very welcome, and we do appreciate it. All right, 0906 202 9933 is the number. I do not think we'll be able to take any more calls at this time, but let us know your opinion, your thoughts, your standpoint. Send it as a text message, a chat, or a voice note to the same number, 0906 202 9933. Stay with us. After this break, we'll be right back to take a look and actually consider the fact that the Oyo teachers are now going on strike in solidarity with their members that are in the bush and alongside the children who have been kidnapped too. We'll be right back.
Savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we swear in colors, we stand back in deeper, we make solutions, we ignite passion, yeah. It's a message we have more than just a nation. We are Nigeria. We
The Real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
This is the Morning Edition on Real Broadcasting Network.
All right, now welcome back. It's still the morning edition right here on Real 99.3 FM. We are definitely part of the Real Broadcasting Network. And we are Marian Delakwe, Ugochukwu Madamari, and Isaac Barry. We turn our focus now to our first commentary, which focuses on the indefinite strike action embarked upon by public primary and secondary school teachers in Oyo State following the abduction of teachers and pupils from communities in Orire local government area. Now, this happened since May 15th and today is June 1st, and we are still nowhere close to having them back to us and in our community now. But then the strike, which begins today, June 1st, was declared by the Nigerian Union of Teachers in response to the kidnapping of dozens of students and the pupils teachers. One of the teachers was beheaded live on camera. We say that quite a sight you don't want to even imagine or sort of watching. I couldn't bring myself to see that, but then we have to report the news as it is. But updates on the story and the situation now is teachers in Oyo State are going on an indefinite strike.
Well, that strike is across public schools in the state, and the direction is for them to withdraw their services until the abducted victims are released unconditionally. And they said the situation is unacceptable. It's a direct threat to the safety of educators and learners. Now, beyond Oyo State, the Nigerian Union of Teachers has also called on its branches across the country to stage solidarity rallies, signaling that this is no longer viewed as a local incident, but part of a wider national concern about security in schools.
And that is really, how would I call it now? This development, once again, places the issue of school safety at the center of national discourse. I brought it to the front burner, if you ask me. You know, for many Nigerians, schools are supposed to be safe spaces, you know, for learning, for development, for, you know, communality, you know, for sharing ideas, you know. They're not supposed to be locations associated with fear, uncertainty, and criminal attacks. They're supposed to be places where you come to share ideas, come to learn new things, and, you know, sharpen and hone in your skills. So over the past decade, the country has witnessed a series of attacks on educational institutions, you know, including mass kidnappings of students and teachers, particularly in rural communities where security presence is often very, very limited. And these incidents have left lasting scars on families, you know, and even communities have been scarred. And the education sector as a whole, too, have been affected and affected, with many parents increasingly worried about the safety of their children in school. Of course, this has led to so many things that government has proposed, the Safe School Initiative, you know, the organizing of communities to get themselves together and make sure they protect and all of that, and the posting and improvement of you see something, you say something, and all of that. Now, the Oyo State situation raises a critical question. And that is that how can effective teaching and learning take place when teachers themselves no longer feel safe carrying out their duties? That is the question that it has raised. And a lot of people have been asking that question, you know. And education experts have long argued that security is a fundamental requirement for academic success. When teachers and students live under the threats of violence, attendance, of course, will suffer. And concentration in studies actually will decline, which is already declining. And the educational outcomes are very, very well affected. In fact, sometimes attendance in schools drop very, very significantly, you know, and it affects people psychologically because they have impact on psychology. And, you know, when it does that, it means that children are exposed to traumatic events. And when they often struggle with fear. They have anxiety. They have emotional distress. Every of all those things, you know, teachers, you know, work under such conditions too, or working under such conditions, they find it difficult to maintain a productive learning environment. And if you don't have that, it can't be happening. Education.
All right. I mean, when we look at this strike, some Nigerians say long overdue was supposed to be on this. It goes beyond just the labor action now. It's also a statement about safety, you know, protection, and the responsibility of government to create secure conditions for teaching and learning. How safe are our schools? We've had this cry before now, and here we are again at the same junction, calling for a safer school. I mean, following the incident, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu approved the visitation of top officials, you know, to visit the rural local government. While at the visit, there were announcement of, or there's a statement, you know, from the presidency that says 1,000 forest guards to be recruited, you know, to also help in security matters, you know, and of course, those forest guards will be deployed to the affected area, you know, as maybe just a placeholder now. But when you get these 1,000 forest guards, are you just going to recruit them and deploy them into the field? But let's take a listen to one of the officials that was at that visit, Nuhu Rubadu, the National Security Advisor, at the visit in Oyo State, a rural local government area now.
Yesterday I was with Mr. President. Incidentally, the issue of forest guards came up. He directed that we must establish for Oyo State forest guards of minimum of 1,000 from the first week of June. And we are going to do that immediately after we go back to Abuja. We are going to do it in collaboration with the state government. I also want to acknowledge the role of the governor. It's been very well, good. And at the same time, the local communities. These forest guards will come from you. And we are going to expedite it. We'll start seeing action even more. The Minister of Defense is here, and I'm also sure he will talk about the possibility of adding physical presence of our military in this community. We will not leave this place without specific actions. We have listened to you, and we can tell you, we assure you, we are going to take action. God bless you, and may God continue to be with you. Thank you very much.
That's the voice of the NSA, that's the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Rubadu, over the visit, where he mentioned that the recruitment of the 1,000 forest guards now. But there are questions regarding this. How is this going to take place? How is it going to help? But the government is saying that this is an immediate steps being taken to strengthen security in the affected communities and intensify rescue efforts. So the question is, are these forest guards that will be recruited what we're waiting for to be able to rescue those that have been kidnapped? Or there are already plans? Because from the visit, I don't know if you hear any of the plans to say we already have our soldiers in the bushes trying to get these guys.
No, Marian, they won't tell you that.
Or do we have a negotiation going on already?
They won't tell you that. But there was something the general said, retired general, who was or who is our defense secretary, says even on land and in the air, we are watching. So he won't say more than that. That will be giving out your strategy too. But don't forget that these people are even very well, they think, I won't be surprised if they are retired military people or even, okay, let me not say some things, but the thing is, they are very well coordinated. I guess that's the word I was looking for. They are coordinated. And if you listened again to what the general said, retired general, our defense minister, he said, this is what they want. It's to create fear. That's why they are called terrorists. just to create some terror, to create some fear, to make sure we start to fight ourselves, we start to blame ourselves, and looks like they are succeeding in that. That's why they will show you terrible videos, show you some videos that will make everybody, and they are succeeding. So the general will not tell you what they are doing. They won't tell you what government is doing. Well, for optics, they probably might tell you we're negotiating and all of that, but they will not tell you to your face or to everyone. They'll tell you, no, that's not for the cameras. It's not for the newspapers. But he said, over land and in the air, we are watching the area.
I mean, just when we are not done with Oyo State and the bringing back of the pupils and the students, with all of the videos making the rounds of using the principal to, relay their demands, from that video, the woman said, speaking on behalf of the terrorists, it says, we want to talk to the government. Government, please talk to them. They want to hear you talk to them and all. They want a negotiation to happen. But we don't negotiate with terrorists. We shouldn't.
Officially, we don't.
But then, just when we are not done with that, some fresh details have also now emerged on how bandits abducted the former Director of Defense Information of the Nigerian Army, Major General Abubakar Basari, retired, and his wife, Amina Abubakar, in Katsina State on Saturday. Another one. The retired Major General was reportedly traveling to Katsina on Saturday alongside his wife, Haja Amina Abubakar, and their driver, Abdullahi Saidu, when their vehicle was ambushed along the Maraba Musawa Road. And the attack has, called for another security matter now. While yet to even get out of the Oyo State situation.
And we hear this one.
Another, is happening. With the description of how the event went down, witnesses said that armed men believed to be bandits suddenly emerged from the hiding, blocked the road, and opened fire on the vehicle, forcing it, to halt before abducting the retired officer and his wife into a nearby forest. Now, sources familiar with the incident told newsmen, now, according to the Daily Trust newspaper report, that the driver was shot in the hand during the attack, but was later, spared by the gunmen. Now, if you look at the narration of how all of this went down, it's quite a coordinated one.
Oh, yes.
It feels like a pre-information went ahead. They knew the route he was going to take. They knew the time he was going to get there. There was a follow-up. A witness who decided to withhold the identity said the attack appeared to be a well-planned ambush. Now, reading and looking at all of how this happened, this played out, it tells that the information was very much active while they were on the move, because there's one thing to say he's going to travel by this time. There's another thing to know when he gets to that particular junction where you have set your plan and your ambush to happen, for you to know how many people are in the car, for you to know how much defense is got, if there was a backup driver, if there was, anyone who was also maybe riding behind them to protect.
Yeah.
All of this information are very much important, most especially timing.
Yeah.
How did they know he was going to get there at that time? How did they know the vehicle he was driving in?
Exactly. So they must have real time, just as you said, real time information. Some people they will know his route each time. Of course, they will know he normally travels to his home state of Katsina, and they know this is normally how he passes. This is where he passes. Some people must have been stationed in different points to be monitoring him. And we hear also, Marian, that those guys who carried out, according to some eyewitnesses, those who carried out this dastardly act had actually raided a place where phones are being charged or sold. They moved a lot of phones, which supposes that they'll be using different phones, I believe, to be calling when the time is right. They also seized the motorcycle belonging to one of the villagers when they, encountered the vehicle that was oncoming and then opened fire on it, which means that they know they had planned this, they knew what they were going to do, and they carried it out to time T,
But I mean, when you go to buy a SIM card, there are lots of processes of your IDs, your NIN, your if at this point we might be bringing our birth certificate now. All of those infos that are being taken. So are we saying that we cannot real-time monitor these calls? We can't. We're gonna get right into that conversation on cybersecurity
Yes.
very much later on the program, but. We are yet to recover our students and our parents from their teachers from the Oyo State kidnap incident, and here we are again with another that was still yet to even get a hold of. We don't know when he will be released and his wife. We don't know if. Yes, we do hope and pray that they're still very much alive. That Casino Road have seen abduction of other people over time. This is not the first time. This is not the second time we've had a kidnap from that same casino access. How unsafe are our roads, and what are we doing to bring and restore safety back to our roads? I'm pretty much sure that some people did not travel for the Salah break because of stories like this, issues like this. You don't know when they will hit. You don't know when you should get on the road. You don't know how safe it is. If your going is clear, you don't know how your coming is going to be. So many people had to stay back to say, you know what, I don't want to pay 30 million naira because I don't even have 30,000 naira in my account. This traveling is just because I want to see my family. Families now do video calls, and data is so much expensive right now. So where are we? We're all trying to grapple and survive the economy at this point. But then, where are we going with the security issues? Your thoughts are very much welcomed. The teachers are on strike in Oyo State. Some Nigerians say it should be a nationwide strike, not just a chapter strike. 09062029933. That's the number for you to call as we move on to our next commentary right now. But then the phone line for text, SMS, and WhatsApp chat. And you can also send your comments on WhatsApp as well, on your voice notes. Very much welcome. 09062029933. Look at one call and then we'll move it on to our next commentary. You have a voice note, you have a text, and also we got a call. Which are we going with? We'll go with the voice note now.
Good morning, guys. This is Basi from Gwagwalada. Sorry for the background noise you are hearing. It's raining here. Did I hear people clapping when the NSA announced that President Tinubu announced that minimum of 1,000 forest guards should be recruited? Why are they clapping? That's Nigeria for you. It's just a statement. We don't even have one on ground. And people are clapping. Clapping for what? You've gone to mourn. You've gone to console those who are in trauma. And because a statement is made, they are clapping. I'm sure most of them that are clapping, they are part of his team. Or those who suddenly realize that another way of getting money has come. That's Nigeria for you. We should be sober. We should be consoling those who are in pains. I wonder why they are clapping. Thank you, guys.
Wow.
All right. Thank you very much, Basi. We also have this one from Isa Imaraba, who says, hi, people. Politics already destroy the country. You want to recruit forest gas and you say it out. What happened to the dismissed soldiers? I suspect they are amongst those perpetrating insecurity. Talking is cheaper while fighting an internal battle. Thank you very much, Isa, for your contribution. Just one call. Good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning, the political gurus. How are you people doing?
Very well, Prof. You have 30 seconds.
Okay, yes. In fact, last week I called for this action. I said, what are the Nigerian Union of Teachers? What are they doing? We cannot just move on, like nothing happened. A teacher we had beheaded, in our front. And someone that our little children are there in the forest suffering. So I think this is a right direction. Going to indefinite strike is a right direction. It's a statement. And I think it should be a nationwide process.
All right.
Teachers in all the schools should shut down. Let me make a statement. These guys should be brought out. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll take you to the view of Governor Sheyi Makinde when it comes to who should have control over security agencies. Stay with us.
This is the Morning Edition on Real Broadcasting Network.
As I stand here, some innocent children and
That's Governor Seyi Makinde, who says governors lack control over security agencies. And he's saying no governor should be able to carry the burden of chief security officer, without having a certain level of control. And that particular comment has raised an important question about responsibility, about accountability when citizens are kidnapped. Is this an attempt to shift blames? And I mean, just to raise an observation that when we had the visit of the federal government delegation, I mean, Makinde wasn't there to receive them. Is this a thing where the state government is on their own path to rescue the abducted pupils and the teachers, and then the federal government are also on their own mission as well? What exactly is going on?
Good question there, because days before then, I was in a discussion with someone. The ruling party in that state had come out with a statement blaming the governor of Oyo State and putting the blames at his doorstep for this happening and all of that. Well, the governor's comment that we just had has once again brought to the front burner Nigeria's long-standing debate on the structure of policing and security management, especially the extent of authority that the state governments actually have, practically over security agencies operating within their territories. It's not the very first time that we have had governors of different states claim that they bear chief security officers of their states in name alone and not in action and not in anything, that actually show that they have any. And the issue of this matter that we're talking about is not new. It remains very highly sensitive, particularly at a time when kidnapping, armed attacks, and other violent crimes continue to affect communities, across different parts of Nigeria.
Well, that, central question many Nigerians are asking is simple but very critical. So if state governors do not control security agencies, then who exactly is responsible when citizens are kidnapped?
Exactly.
When there's an attack, especially within, their states. We've heard several political analysts and security experts, say, we can't put all the blame on the president alone. The governors have also got to step up, and take responsibility. But now, when the governors are saying, yes, we understand it's our responsibility, but do we have the constitutional authority to do certain things? Nigeria's current security architecture places control of major security agencies at the federal level, meaning that governors often serve more as the chief security coordinators in their state rather than direct commanders of military or police formation. Now, it's been described as a key limitation by some people in responding quickly and effectively to security challenges, especially in states with large rural areas and difficult terrain.
That is really, really very true, because if you take a look at the situation, sometimes they tell you that if they want to take any very fast and hasty decision, whoever is in charge of security in their state must have to, defer to Abuja, the headquarters, to say, this is what we want to do. Do we have your permission? For instance, if you want to talk to the commissioner of police in your state, the commissioner will say, okay, I'll have to talk to the IG, and all of that. So the structure that we have on ground is actually quite some form of limitation. So as a result of this, when incidents like kidnapping occur, there's often what we might call confusion, in public perception about where the responsibility should begin and where it should end between the federal, between the state, and even local securities. So in many cases, governors are expected to act, to speak, and to respond as chief security officer with good speed, yet they do not have full operational command, So it creates what many analysts have called responsibility gap, Yes, of course, us as citizens will be blaming you, Governor. You are number one person here in this state. And he too will be saying, yes, I've asked them to do so and so, but the person I've asked to do whatever is taking permission back from Abuja. And it brings up the matter of coordination. Because effective security response often depends largely not only on authority, but also on how different levels of government and security agencies work together. And most times, they do need to work together because you have the ones who are bringing intelligence, you have the ones who provide manpower on ground, boots on ground, and you have the ones who provide air power, the ones who provide ground power, and all of that. All of these people need to work together, and that's what we should be doing, And over the years, there have been repeated calls for restructuring Nigeria's policing system. The calls have been growing louder and louder, and that's including proposals for state policing, if you recollect. There have been calls to decentralize security frameworks and stronger community-based security models. And, supporters of these reforms argue that localized security control would allow for faster response times and better intelligence gathering and more accountability at the state level.
But there are also those who are criticizing the move to say that if you decentralize the police, it could create new risk if not properly managed, including political interference, abuse of power, and uneven capacity across states. It's not all the states who are financially capable, of running, an effective security system. Now, in the meantime, Nigerians continue to bear the consequences of a system, because while we're having all of this conversation, there's abductions going on, there's kidnappings, there's a high level of insecurity. It appears from what we see, in the news. The operational structure for delivering that safety remains highly centralized at the moment, which is why incidents of kidnapping often trigger public frustration, especially when the responses to an extent appear slow, fragmented, or somewhat unclear in terms of who is leading the operation. And it also raises the issue of communication between security agencies and the public, because timely and transparent information is often crucial in managing crisis and building trust. We've seen several incidents where, the security operatives even tried to deny that, there was an attack or an abduction in the first place. Now, for many citizens, the bigger concern is not just who is legally responsible. At this point, that's not the question Nigerians are even asking. Is it the governor? Is it the president? But right now, can we begin to, see that justice is being done, that Nigerian lives, Nigerian children, and their properties are being protected? That is what is the concern of Nigerians at the moment, particularly for those abducted children and the teachers in your state. Let's get them back. After we get them back, then let's open up this conversation again about who should have more authority, about who we should, hold more accountable, about who should be in control of these security agencies.
Yes, indeed. That's what we are hoping. And if you have something to say about that, just let us know. Send your thoughts, your position, your suggestions to us on the same line that but this time not through a call. Send it to us via WhatsApp, a chat, text, or even a voice note. Let us know. 0906 202 9933.
All right, the phone line is open for only text messages and WhatsApp messages at the moment. We'll take a break now, and when we come back from that break, we'll give you a business brief with Marion.
Savannah to the Sahara, we rise, a land of the free, we know they tire. We dream great, our spirit is undying.
Resilient, rooted like palm tree, we swear colors, we stand up in the back.
The Real Nigerian. Brought to you by the National Orientation Agency.
This is the morning edition, where national conversations meet global perspectives and headlines are broken down with clarity, context, and class.
From politics to governance, business and the economy, security, policy, and the stories shaping your day.
Expect in-depth analysis, engaging interviews, and conversations that actually matter to you.
Oh yes, we keep it insightful, but never boring.
So whether you're driving to work, preparing for meetings, or setting the tone for your day, start it informed with the Real 99.3 FM Abuja. The Morning Edition with Ugochukwu Madumere,
Marian Dilekwe,
and Isaac Barry.
Mondays to Fridays, 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on Real 99.3 FM.
Part of the Real Broadcasting Network.
I always feel that even though one is an artist, that we are first human beings and we live in the same world as any other person, so that we as artists should never close our eyes to what is happening around us. The message I'm trying to give to my audience is not one. I am just trying to make them understand me as a person and understand my country and my people.
South African singer and activist Miriam Makeba, 1932 to 2008.
This is the Morning Edition on Real Broadcasting Network.
All right, so nice to have you stay with us all of this while. It's been such a lovely time so far. Of course, this is 99.3 FM, part of the Real Broadcasting Network. Yes, indeed, and it's the morning edition with Ugochukwu, Marian, and Isaac. So it's time now to take it to our big story this morning, and it is focusing on a key security question, and that is, if kidnappers can make phone calls, can send videos, and even appear on live streams, why is it still difficult for security agencies to locate them in real time?
It's a very big question, Barry, and in several cases, the victims and abductors are seen using mobile communication tools, yet responses often fail to translate that digital activity into fast, actionable location tracking before criminals move deeper into remote areas.
I mean, this raises wider concerns around intelligence capacity, coordination between agencies, and the speed of response in critical kidnapping situations across the country now.
Yes, indeed. And to help us unpack this, we're joined by Mr. Nsikak Joseph Nelson. I hope I did that correctly. Of course, he's the CEO of DEFCOM and co-founder of Selex Secure Lab. Well, good morning to you, Mr. Nelson. Thank you for joining us on the morning edition today. Thank you for being here. Just to let my listener know that Mr. Nsikak is live here with us in flesh and blood in our studio. Good morning to you.
Thank you for having me today.
All right. So, from a technical standpoint, question would be, why can, kidnappers sometimes still evade location tracking? Is it true that they evade location tracking? And if they do, how is it possible for them to evade location tracking even when they are very active, on mobile phones, and they are very active in the digital space, very active on social media? That's the question to you.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, I've been in crime investigation for 5-6 years, And you see, is a very complex scenario, right? Because tracking and investigation requires more than we see or more than we watch on the TV and on the movies, right? I'm not trying in any way to cover up for the government. They need to do their work. But again, when you are investigating individuals and you are investigating terrorists, it's quite different. See, these are people from the onset that have built their cyber personnel, right? They have tried to hide under different identity, right? They have understand the structure of tracking, and in a way they evade it, right? And this has been an occurring issue. But I will bring you a bit into this. You see, as Nigerians, we are a consumer nation. We are consuming almost everything, including technology. You see, there's a place for policies, there's a place of adoption of technology. So I'll give you a practical example. Couple of years when BlackBerry was entering into countries, one of the things the Indian government did was, you have to give us access to the encryption protocol because we need to use this to decrypt communication that goes through in and out of the system, right? And this help them because they have the back end to the systems. Mm-hmm. In this other part, we are just consuming, and I believe you know that Instagram, TikTok, these are foreign-owned technology, exactly. Right? We are just consumer nation. We just consume that. The government did not find it fit to put instruments like access controls, right? And in any case, when investigating things like this, you know, you don't just jump. Somebody does a live streaming and you want to apprehend this. You have to get things like subpoena from the court. You write to the court to detail why you are investigating this individual, and hence they release this information. But before they release this information, there are a lot of indications that goes through, right, to just know if you are not wish hunting these people. So this again is a complex structure for the government. We don't own the technology, we consume. So at the end of the day, we will rely on the foreign companies that own this to give us access to these things. Now, that does not mean that there are no advanced technology in this. There are advanced technology, but it requires resources, right? It requires coordinated approach. So take, for example, you can't just bring in a technology to start tracking, right? There's a part of acquiring intelligence. So either from human intelligence, either from social media intelligence, or either from satellite intelligence, or all aspects of things. This infused into a data intelligence structure where each agencies pick up, analyze, and match this with identity system to track and eliminate such threat.
So what you're saying, in effect, if I get you correctly, is that, because I asked two questions in one, is that it is possible to track these people. Yes. It is. Yes. Because some people are saying, some people say, no, it's very difficult. So it is possible. But to be able to track them, yes, you need all of these details that you're saying.
Exactly.
But we are operating as a sovereign country. Yes, we do not own these technologies. We do not own these equipment. We need permissions. And you referred us to India at a point when BlackBerry was coming in to say, give us so permission and all of that. But in the case that we have right now, it is a challenge. We are fighting against known terrorists, people who are, giving our country and our image, giving the country a bad name and bad image, so to speak. Is there nothing we can do to bypass some of these things that you are talking about with our security outfits, security agencies, working in tandem with all of those people who own this technology and all of that? Is there not anything we can do?
Sorry, excuse me. There are so many things we can do. And again, these things is not just a click to do. It requires time. It requires expertise. So let me take you a little bit back. If you recall, recently the military did retrieve some amount of hardwares like internet, Starlink internet.
Yeah.
Yes, I am out from the ends of the insurgency and all that. Now, they understand that using a conventional network, government should be able to track them. Using your SIM card and all that stuff, government should be able to track them. So they take a step further, right, by buying identity, right? Yes, the government have taken a step to ensure that all Nigerians get identified through the BVN names and all that, right? But again, see, these guys, they have planned this thing ahead of time.
Yes.
Right? They didn't just wake up, unlike the cybercrime that you just see a guy, oh, my friend is making money, I just need to join the train, and just jump into it. So they have taken their time to understand the loopholes in the system and plan ahead of time. Now, the government also has made an effort. But in the effort they're making, they're also bypassing that effort, right? So this requires a strategic and coordinated kind of strategy. What I mean is that advanced technology, we all know that right now, most of them operate in areas where there are no networks.
You're talking about the bandits now,
yes,
most of them. Okay.
Yes, the bandits, they operate in areas where there are no network.
Okay, yeah.
Are you getting me? So how will government track? Are you getting me?
Yes.
So, in the real sense, there are there are hardwares, right, that intercept traffics. You identify traffic, where traffic are spoofing out from. Are you getting me? And you move in to analyze these things and pinpoint this, right? But at the same time, they move from one point to the other. That requires a challenging factor. And oftentimes people say we have drone system that could do this. Yes, but in the reality is that the drone which are currently being used, an average drone used for intelligence gathering or thereabout within maybe the technology companies in Nigeria, rather they stay like 30 to 40 minutes on the air, right? And how can you acquire intelligence that you stay 30, 40 minutes on the air, you come back to refuel or reload your energy and go back again? By that process, right, they have moved. So this has to be an holistic process, right? One of the things is that the government also should also look into innovation technology within Nigeria. I'll give you an example. India again. In India today, if you are going to buy a gas, for example, put a gas in your cylinder, the government knows the number of gas, who is filling this gas, because they have a central system that analyzes things, right? And through this, they require real-time information and translate it to intelligence. Today, we have people buying gas, all sort of gas, liter of gas or kgs of gas, moving, transport it out to give to the bandit. Now, in the case of the internet, too, in Nigeria, for you to get an internet, the government would need to regulate you. You need to buy your SIM. You need to be registered. These guys, they did understand that process. They went for Starlink. Now, for you to buy a Starlink, most times you must go through a process. Now, look at the loopness in the system. I'm a businessman. I acquire a number of Starlink, right? I come into Nigeria, I sell it to our business brothers, right? Our business brother takes it and sell it to Adamu in the north. So there's no chain of documentation. So how will the government track through these processes? And that is why I said that the government need to engage with local technology company. We could use a structured receipt system to the guys that are selling at Banex. When somebody purchases phones, when somebody purchases this kind of devices, the government can track who purchase all these things. It gives the government a command line to start investigation from. So in this case, where you don't even know where it was purchased from, is absolutely very difficult. And Starlink used directly from satellite. They evade or bypass the regular internet structure. So we'll have to rely on Starlink to give us those information. Now it will be more complex when Starlink are using an encryption system that require that maybe there are policies that we don't give government access to data that's transmit into this. The government have to structure a way on how to get this information out again.
All right, I hear you on all of that. So where are we? We are supposed to have our own satellite system. Aren't we supposed to have, we have Nightcomsat and all of that. Isn't it now time for us to develop our own, system of protecting data, of using what we have to... so what you have just told us so far is that these bad guys are many steps ahead of us. Is that correct?
Exactly, sir.
So with our Nightcomsat, what are we doing? Aren't we able to give answers to that and even catch up with them and be ahead of them?
Okay, I'm not a spokesman to the government anyway. Nightcomsat, as you know, have communication satellite, right? There are different types of satellite that are being used in this case, right? One could just send data. One is specifically for intelligence gathering. And I'm sure you heard recently that the government are launching 2 extra satellites. So with the current satellite structure that Nightcomsat have in place, is basically for sending data and all that. It's not used for tracking, asset tracking and all that. So in other words, the government needs to look into, and I believe that's what they are doing, right, to get these things into place. Now, before I end also, there is this aspect of things, right, in spite that the terrorists invade, right, it's also will require critical investigation skills, right, to get through these things. So let me give you an example. Today we see the terrorists streaming stuff, right?
Yes.
Most of the times, I will tell you that most of those streaming might not be live. They are pre-recorded and stream live, right? In an account. And if you trace those accounts, you see that most of those accounts have been registered maybe 6-7 years with different identity, right? So they all understand this. They won't use their real phones to do that in any case because they understand what is at stake. And that's why it might be much more easier for the government to do regular, maybe crackdown on citizens, right, when they tweet or do this, because for you have nothing to hide. Your name is John. You keep remaining John on your Instagram, on your X and everything, right? You are in this place, you are working here. So, of course, you'll be tweeting here and you'll be sending information here. So it's very easy for the government to tag you because you have not thought of evading any kind of stuff. You are just yourself. And in any case, your device is giving you so much comfort and it's taking so much from you, right? Your privacies, your location, Instagram is taking that and all that. So the government using these assets are able to track citizens through these processes. But for the banditry, they understand all this behind this. So they take like 5 steps ahead of them. So for government to eliminate this, they have to take 7 steps ahead of them.
Wow. So looking at it real time now, because some of the complaints, not really complaints, some of the things Nigerians say, they give you examples to say, if I go wrong, do anything wrong against the government, it doesn't take them time to pick me up very fast. Real time, they pick me up. But when these bandits, now these things you are telling us now is beginning to reveal to us. So tell me, in modern security systems globally, how quickly in the state where we are, because you have laid some groundwork for us to in the state that we are in right now, the kind of equipment we have, not as advanced as those people as you are suggesting. How quickly can our security system, our security personnel, how quickly can they trace a mobile signal? Let's be speaking realistically now. How can they trace some of these people and they convert that signal they get into, action of going for these people where we are right now?
Okay, so tracing of signal intelligence is a little bit complex as well, right? So for the government to move very fast, we have to go into advanced systems. So in countries like Russia, America, they have a drone system that can mimic a base station, like a fake base station, because the government triangulates tracking through a base station.
When you say triangulate, so what does that mean in
like
English?
They track through these base stations, right? Mm-hmm. And then in places like the Northeast where we don't really have that, right? We could use a drone system to mimic those base stations where this guy tries to connect, right? Mm. And then they loop out information from that aspect. I don't know if the government have that now, but those are advanced technology that can ease intelligence gathering and investigative skills in real time.
Let me ask you, a couple of months back, we had the Americans step into the Nigerian soil. Supposedly, they are here to help us fight insecurity, and the major area they are going to help us with, or they are helping us with, is intelligence gathering and all of that. With their presence, don't you think they have some of these very advanced equipment that you're saying we don't have, and these bad guys are steps ahead of us?
The Americans have the advanced systems, right? But you see, you don't just bring advanced system and start acquiring immediately. So intelligence gathering, I said, it goes through processes. Now, we have human intelligence, what we are currently operating in, where you have an asset that pass information to the government or to the law enforcement agency. Mm-hmm. And tomorrow, if you go back, maybe your asset will tell you that the person has moved to this place. Before the asset gets back to the government again, maybe the person has moved again. Are you getting me? That's another ball game. Now, we are talking of advanced systems. Advanced system works in a structured system, right? So let me give you an example. I want to track A. Mm. There must be a process. A should have registered with BVN, should have this, should have bank account, right? Because that is where you also drive through financial intelligence, because you want to know what comes in and flows out and all those stuff. So you have to aggregate so much information before you start analyzing.
Footprints, yeah?
Yes, before you start analyzing. Now there's what is called EEI, essential element of information. That is what law enforcement or intelligence agency look for, because the system is aggregating so much information, but you need to point it to where it's going to, and you use that in tracking, right? So what the Americans might be doing now is to aggregate so much data. They are mining information from different sources, right? They might have some of this information because our structure, our banking system, this stuff are being used by foreign software-owned company, right? But they need to aggregate so much, right? So that when they start pinning, right, it's pointing them to the right direction.
All right, Ugochukwu wants to ask a question.
Just one, and I'm actually being very careful, because time and time again you've reiterated that you're not a spokesman, for the government. But we're glad you're here to give us your perspective on some of the technical and security aspects. And so far, you've explained that there's a lot of evasion, particularly from the side of the bandits and the kidnappers, which makes it difficult to track them. But and that's when some of these crimes have been committed. But can we also have a system where before it happens, or at least immediately, or at the point where it's happening? So my question to you is, what are some of the technology, I mean, it may just really be simple. It may not be all of that drone and advanced technologies. What are some of the simple technological devices we can put in place? For instance, in the America, when someone goes missing, or a child, for instance, there's the Amber Alert. Everyone's phone gets a ping, and everyone is alert. They're on the lookout for the kidnappers, the criminals. Everyone is attentive, and we see speedy, very quick recovery and rescue of these victims in most cases. So let's leave the advanced technologies for a moment. What are some of the simple technology we can employ to help the security situation of a country?
Okay, thank you. You see, the simple security, simple solution you are talking about also have a complex structure in Nigeria. Yeah, I'll give you this. Let me just give you an example. Now, basic things like how stable is your internet?
Okay.
Consistency of power. So I'll give you an example. I once pilot a project where we just want people to give out real-time information. So take, for example, I'm going to Wuse to enter a bus. I click in, right? My family get notified that I've entered Wuse. I'm going to Wuse 2, and when I get to Wuse 2, I also click in that I'm in Wuse 2, right? Those technologies aggregate information in real time. So if someone is missing, the last known point, and then, of course, with CCTV coverage, you could help. Now, the thing is that even the CCTV coverage we have within houses, because if you look at other countries, if you are living along the road, or you are living on the highways, or maybe along the street, they mandate that you have a camera in your house and it's being fed into the integrated into the national feeds. Are you getting me? Do we have these things? So even if someone says, I'm missing at this point, your system just identify it, right? In other advanced country, you match it with the camera footage to know and track. You get. In this case, do you even have light to power those camera? Now, another issue is going to be a major limitation in maybe in the rural areas where you don't really have light, where you don't have much internet coverage. So take, for example, even if you have a simple device, right, or you install an app, maybe the government come up with this initiative to put a response app that wherever you notify something, click in, click out, click in, click out. Do you have a stable internet to power that click in, click out process, right? So up until we are able to do this, yes, I understand that the Ministry of Innovation and is doing so much, putting up internet, but that is one of the process. We have to have more internet coverage in these areas, right? And then it brings down to the point that the government have to work with local technology companies to drive solutions such as this, right? Because if government should start these solutions like this, you will see, you and I will not use it. You say, no, I don't trust these systems, right? In other advanced countries, you see Uber, right? Is also an intelligence gathering mechanism. So if somebody get missing from point A to point B, they could scoop these things from their systems and track down and say, this is the last stop. And as a matter of fact, most of these apps like Uber and Bolt, they have a voice recording system in real time that pull the information. So government could look at extensive way, right, of interfacing with these companies to aggregate these data in real time to use this, because the problem is not that we don't have data, we have data, right? Flowing data, we have the banking data, we have names, we have all this. Are we aggregating this data into one place and then turning it to active intelligence for decision or decisive decision making?
All right, just in 1 minute, about to wrap up now. See yourself as the technical advisor to the national security advisor of this country. And we want to try and solve this matter that's at hand with us. In 30 seconds, okay, make it 45 seconds. What will you be doing? What advice will you be giving to the national security advisor?
Okay, very simple. One, they should look down, like, one of the things I would do is to aggregate technology companies, right, within the security sector to build innovative solutions, right? And then integrate this into existing infrastructure, right? And in real time, use this as a mechanisms to solve this problem.
And that's long term. Short term, 10 seconds.
Short term, again, we have to procure, right?
Wow, I knew you were headed there. Well, Mr. Nsika Joseph Nelson, thank you so much for sparing your time to come to join us to try and profile solutions to the problem we are having. Nigerians are praying. That's the part they can do. People like you will be giving your very insightful opinion and advice to everyone. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
We really do appreciate it. And that's it for what we had to do this morning, because anything we have to do well. But on the part of Nigerians, let's all stay sharp, stay alert. When you see something, say something and tell those who are responsible for how will I say, our security to do the needful. This is the morning edition on Real 99.3 FM. Up next, we'll be moving to our developing story, which has something to do with something that you really like. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Nigerian situation is beyond political parties. Today, Nigerian situation requires all hands on deck.
Head of State and President 1975 to 1979 and 1999 to 2007. Chief Olusegun Obasanjo. You are listening to Real 99.3 FM.
This is the morning edition on Real Broadcasting Network.
Indeed, thank you so much for staying with us. And it's time for our developing story. And this morning it focuses on the growing political conversations around former President Goodluck Jonathan and the possibility of a return to presidential politics under the PDP, alongside recent comments by FCT Minister Nyesom Wike reaffirming his support for President Bola Tinubu. Well, these developments have sparked fresh debate about political realignment, shifting loyalties, and the future direction of both the PDP and opposition politics ahead of the 2027 elections, Miriam.
Yes, indeed. They also have raised important questions about the South region, which has historically played a significant role in Nigeria's political landscape and now finds itself at the center of discussions, about influence, representation, and political strategy. I mean, this development has sparked fresh debate about political realignment, shifting all of that. PDP running with the names of Goodluck Jonathan. From observers now, this development reflects normal political calculations. For others, the raised concerns about party cohesion, regional interest, and the broader implications for Nigeria's democratic competition.
Well, we have joining us this morning, political and public affairs commentator, Mr. Eric Ikwagu, to, help us unpack some of these issues. Good morning to you, Mr. Eric. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Happy New Month to you as well.
Yeah, same to you.
Well, a lot has been happening politically. Just recently, we had the Turaki-led faction of the PDP formally present Goodluck Jonathan as their presidential candidate. Yes, it was in absentia, but they went on and on about how he is... running, is not his personal ambition, but a call from the people for him to throw his hat into the ring. Now, what is your take on that possible presidential bid for Goodluck Jonathan? Because so far, he hasn't really said that he has accepted, that nomination of his person as the presidential candidate. The last time he said anything, he said he was going to widely consult. So let's get your take on that.
Well, as of today, it still remains in the realm of speculation. Not until he comes out to personally tell Nigerians that he is throwing his hat in the ring. So for now, it is speculative coming from the Turaki faction of the PDP that we know that is still in court trying to sort out their issues. For today, it is the faction of the FCT minister that has been recognized by INEC. So not until they sort out their internal issue and have a direction, then and Nigerians are waiting for the former president to come out himself and make that pronouncement that he is running for the presidency under the Turaki faction of the PDP. It remains speculative and it's not going to draw that expected momentum. So that is why today you don't see it, trend as it should with the people. I'm not talking about social media now. Get to the grassroots and people getting excited about the possibility of having a good luck Jonathan back. But then we still want there's still time for in the next 2 months, all these things should be sorted out, and the Nigerian people voter will be able to know which candidate is on the ballot. So for now, it is not generating the momentum that is expected, and then because it's still speculative till he comes out to say it, until we finally know the faction of the PDP, the INEC finally settles with, it will still not generate the expected momentum.
But can we also say that this is some political maneuvering ahead of the elections? Yes, you've pointed to some of the cracks, within the PDP. But one can also look at this and saying, is this the opposition positioning itself to make some real impact in 2027?
There's nothing impactful about, all the cracks I just mentioned. Not until it is settled. If you're running for election, just like the president has come out to accept the nomination from his party, just like P2B is making his inroads in the NDC, just like we just saw Donald Duke, and in the ADC, a couple of Southerners are coming out, Ibe Kachuku and the rest. Just recently, the man from Anambra, the former aide to President Obasanjo, So not until the former president comes out openly to, declare that he's running, he wouldn't really generate, no real serious politician will take him serious. That is why the momentum is not there. The grassroots is not vibing to it because he has not come out to openly. Yeah, there's a couple of people who are yearning for a return of the Jonathan presidency. But then, if he has not come out at this point to categorically state that he is running for the 2027 presidency, he's not going to generate any pause apart from a few newspaper report and online publication here and there. No serious politician will take that serious.
Now, let's speak to one of the major players in these divisions within the PDP, and that's the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike. Over the weekend, there was an event in Rivers State, the Rainbow Coalition event, and all of that, where he once again reaffirmed his support for President Bola Tinubu. In fact, he went ahead to encourage electorates in Rivers State to support President Bola Tinubu during the 2027 presidential election. You saw the role that Wike played in 2023. This time, he is still, that loyalist, as it were, to President Bola Tinubu, despite the fact he is a national leader of the People's Democratic Party. What do you make of this, Mr. Wike's continued support for President Tinubu?
With yesterday's reconfirmation of his support, will that grow the base of the president anywhere? No. He has always been consistent with and very vocal about his support for the president. He's just maintaining a stance we all know right from day one. So is that going to grow his base? You know, not grow. It's not going to grow the base because every president will want a figure that will grow his base. So if you have 10 persons today and you make a declaration or a new pronouncement, maybe 3 more, 5 persons, for instance, will join and grow your base. So that speech from Wike or statement he made, was that going to get any traction for the president? No, because his position is already known from day one. The state should be looking at new faces who were before now not in support of the president, that will come out to say, okay, because of this, that, and that, I'm now supporting the president. That will make, for a better political meaning than the FCT minister repeating and re-echoing his stance that right from day one, even right from 2023 and 2022, he supported the president till date. So nobody will, he's not going to move any grounds, not until we see some actors, serious political actors in Rivers State who were hitherto not supporting the president, but now because of his statement, turns around to say, okay, we are now supporting the president. That is why I will see, political shifts, that will be positive or that will be gainful for the president. But re-echoing his stance is just there. People who like him will like him. People who don't like him will not like him because of the statement. So I don't see that generating any political goodwill, or if you will, for the president. Rather, he has maintained the coalition. The coalition has always been for the president, despite the fact he's the leader of a faction of the PDP. He's not going to, build any big political capital for the president.
And when he makes a statement like that, one begins to wonder, where is now the place of ideology? Where is the place of policy? How do you balance that with, yes, he has his own personal ambition. He has made his calculations ahead of 2027. But again, he's a party man. So where is the place of all of that?
Do we really play politics of our ideology in Nigeria? No, I don't think our democracy has come up to that stage that we now talk about ideology and you stand by that. We don't do that. Or rather, politicians in Nigeria, from politician A to the last, all see political parties as a vehicle to ascendancy to political office, because in our constitution, there is no provision for independent candidates. So no matter how, quote-unquote, sanctimonious a candidate is, they are all running after political parties that are valuable to carry them to their destination, which is to the office they are aspiring. Not until we started talking about politics of ideology, where I cannot jump to another party based on the fact that the vehicle is available and there is a chance for me to hop on that vehicle to get to my political destination, we will still be running in circles. All the political parties in Nigeria are the same. APC, PDP, Labour Party, NDC, no matter how politicians will want to color it and make it look good. Today, the former Labour Party presidential candidate, the former Labour Party candidate is now in NDC, and then I try to create NDC to be one very beautiful platform. It is still the same people jumping from one party to the other, from the PDP to the ABGA, from ABGA. So there is no ideology. Not until we start, talking about politics of ideology and not about individuals. There is no one individual that has all what it takes to save Nigeria. We must start talking about what does this party stand for. If I'm going to vote for big government, you're going for this party. If you're going to you're going for a party that will tax the rich more, that will bring in socialism. There's a lot of issues we should be talking about, but that has nothing to do with individual. But the politics we play today is politics of, okay, this person is trending, let me bring him into our party. People will rush and ask, what is the ideology of that party? Nobody knows, but because an individual hops on board. So if something happens to that individual and he's not able to run, what happens to that party? So we should be making the structures, the institutions we have, not only political party, but the institutions we have in this country. That is why people are afraid of state police, because the government, the state governors at the subnational level, will use it against the people. So they don't trust the state governors enough to handle the security. But if institutions work in this country, nobody bothers about who is the INEC chairman. Nobody bothers about who is the next Inspector General of Police. not until institutions in Nigeria will start working, divorced from who appointed them, the party in power, we will not get to where our destination. Okay, so why it is easier to cross carpet is because of this ideological issue. So there's no party that is different. That is why they cross carpet. But I pray that going forward, maybe after this 2027, because they feel it's modeled with a lot of controversies, a lot of court cases. The opposition is still fragmented. So we don't even understand. It's not very clear. Unlike what we had in 2023 general election, where we had major candidates. Today, the field is modeled with a lot of court issues, a lot of internal crises riddling political parties. I pray they get over it and they get to the real job of opposing the president and bringing alternative. For now, I've not seen the alternative that they are putting forward. Rather, we put forward individuals. If you feel the president didn't implement his subsidy removal regime well, please, can you put up an alternative policy? What you would have done better, or the alternative that would have, performed better than what we have. That is the conversation we need to be having, and not running after individuals and not even understanding what they stand for.
All right. Now, in your answers, you had mentioned, the former Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, who is now, in the NDC. And over the weekend, we saw the party presenting him as their presidential ticket candidate, And he also went ahead to announce Kwankwaso as his running mate. Now, when you look back at the 2023 election results and you see that Kwankwaso was following a Peter Obi in the total number of votes, garnered in that election, and then you see these two individuals who are coming together now, is it still your opinion that these individuals might not be able to make, some sort of impact in 2027?
It will be a voodoo statistics to believe that every variable that that played a role in the 2023 general election is constant today. It is voodoo statistics. A lot of issues, a lot of variables have changed. Just like in 2020, prior to the 2020 general election, the president was nowhere in the southeast. Today, you have a couple of support from the southeast. Those who were like the Cubanas, who were strong supporters of the P2OB, are now tilting towards the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So if you keep the tally, the 2023 election tally, as your baseline for predicting what happens in 2027, you will be making a whole lot of mistakes. The variables have changed very considerably, and the issues are no longer the same. So now the system needs to recalibrate to find out where the punchlines are. The vibe P2B had in 2023 going to that election is no longer there. So he needs to re-identify himself to make sure he maintains that particular number of votes till now. The Lagos voters will not do what they did before because they now have a sitting president. Then it wasn't a sit. So they are going to pull all their the best, their A game out there to challenge a P2B in the NDC that is not in the Labour Party again. So a lot of issues have drawn back the momentum of P2B. For instance, people believed in the gospel he preached prior to the 2023 election, and then a whole lot of Nigerians followed, especially young Nigerians, and voted in even Okada men they didn't know. Now, what is the performance? Because this is the last thing to start judging. What is the performance of those who rode on the backs of that obedient wave into the National Assembly? You find out that they didn't do anything exceptional that will stand them out. In fact, most of them are even in APC today. So you ask yourself, will you repeat such thing again where you blindly vote across individuals without even minding, just for the mere fact that there is an OP, that you loved his message? People, voted every person that came up on the platform of the Labour Party. Did those people we voted under that platform, how well are they performing? How well were they able to distinguish themselves from the establishment politicians? You understand that P2P came with this message that he's coming like an outsider. Though we know he has been an entrenched politician, he has been an establishment politician, but he showed the message of an outsider, and people bought it. Now voted blankly across all the National Assembly. So how well did they perform as Labour Party in that house? And how well was Obi able to hold them as a punch throughout? That is leadership. If he's not able to hold, he had about more than 37 members in the house then. Today it has dropped very, very drastically. So if he's not able to hold them, and a whole lot of them moved from the Labour Party too, and has changed party. So a lot has happened, and the Labour Party is still
we saw some of those people moving with him to the NDC too.
Yes, some of them moved, but some in Abia still remained in the Labour Party. So now the NDC is fielding candidates in Abia too. So that will give a lot of confusion for voters. You have a presidential candidate of the APC, they are P2B there, who is running with a different set of National Assembly members. Now you have Labour Party maintaining its Labour Party without a P2B, with the Labour Party members they voted before, now challenging the people under the P2B. That's, so now if you watch the political terrain, there's a lot of division. P2B moved, if P2B had 40 voters, for instance, in Abia State, just for the purposes of this conversation, and today they are divided among the Labour Party, the NDC, and some other people that moved from the Labour Party to the APC and the APDP. You find that his support has been fragmented into the NDC. So some people will remain faithful to the Labour Party, some people will move to the NDC. So you cannot hold that particular number of votes he got in Abia, because even the Abia APC has moved forward from a meager 3,000 membership to over 200,000. So you must have to factor all those things, using Abia State as a case study. The same thing will replicate in Anambra, in Enugu. And the Southeast is supposed to be his strongest hold. But today, it's been fragmented. So if his strongest hold is having this issue, then replicate it to what will happen in Ondo, in Lagos, in the FCT. It will be, remember, even the FCT, the Labour Party is fielding candidates. The NDC is fielding candidates. So the only group or supporters that have been fragmented is that of P2B. The core APC people are still very loyal to the APC. The core PDP people are still loyal to the PDP. But the core supporters of the Labour Party have been fragmented into
Mr.
the NDC, the APC.
Yeah, I want to thank you so much. Our time is up. So sorry to cut you short like that, but I want to thank you so much for your thoughts. We have to go now. We hope that when next we call on you, because there's a whole lot more happening in the political arena, we definitely will come knocking again. Please do oblige us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you very much. Political and public affairs analyst, commentator, Mr. Eric Ikwago, giving us his take on major political conversations and developments. A possible Goodluck Jonathan return as the presidential candidate, Wike's continued support for President Tinubu, Peter Obi in the NDC. We're unpacking all of that.
Well, I guess that's where we anchor the ship today. We'd like to thank you for being there. We did everything we promised we were going to do for you this morning and more. Thank you so much for being there. We'll be hoping that you join us again tomorrow morning at the same time. We'll be bringing you more updates on things that are happening within the country. My name is Isaac Barry. Thanking you most sincerely for being company, and join us again tomorrow.
All right, visit www.therealmediang.com and follow us at The Real Media NG on our social media platforms. I am Ugochukwu Madumere. Good morning.
And I am Marianne Dilekberry. See you tomorrow. 6 a.m. is our start time. Don't miss it. Good morning.
Nigerians believe passionately in the fundamental human rights. We regard all races of the human family as equal. Under no circumstance shall we accept the idea that the black race is inferior to any other race.
Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, first president of Nigeria, 1963 to 1966.
This is Real 993.